So this was kind of like, here and there, I introduced a lot of concepts here. So I would encourage any of you to go ahead and put questions into the chat there that Chris and I can deal with. Because what he's going to deal with is more the hows. I dealt with the whats. And just to kind of recap where I was coming from, I think that we do have to deal with conflicts, because we have to make sure that we have enough hands on deck to be able to complete the work. We have to democratically arrive at a strategy for how we're going to build power in our communities. That strategy needs to include a model, a prototype of the type of person that right now is more likely to join the Greens, or even to vote Green or support Green initiatives, right? When we come up with a strategy, we need to also employ a program of political education to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Sometimes you encounter people that have been Green forever, and they have ideas about what's in the platform that we actually don't have. So at very least, we need to have some sort of initiative to bring all of our regular people on the same page. Those regular people also, we need to reach out to them, and we need to contact them. A lot of Greens do have some time on their hands, and they are willing to help out. And really, if you don't ask, you don't get. So we need to make sure that we value them, that we're interested in what's going on with them. They know that, and then we invite them to help us build, right? If you look at your Green list, you'll see people that have been registered Green for eons, and you probably have never seen them at a local meeting. And it's probably because they haven't been invited to one, right? I just kind of like, as a corollary to that, one of the things I want to point out is that having a political education event or session or something needs to be something different from your business meeting. One of the things that Howie points out all the time is that you don't invite new people to the business meeting where you're haggling about, this, little line item in the budget or whatever. This is, and you can also look at your political education events, opportunities, even if it's just an online reading group of some type, right? You can look at those also as party building activities as well. But, the main focus, obviously, of that kind of an event is to kind of help everybody gel their thinking around a way to talk about a certain thing, right? So then once you have that political education accomplished, once you've come up with kind of a survey that you want to talk to people, then you have to think about, how are you best able to implement that? Are you going to go knocking on doors? Are you going to try to phone bank? Are you going to try to text bank? Emails are actually quite good. And that's, we could have a whole session on talking about how to write an email that's impactful, and how to write a subject line that's going to cause people to open. That's a whole other thing that we can at some point dig into a lot more deeply. But the main thing is that strategy needs to be implemented. That strategy needs to be staffed. That strategy needs to carry out after a while. Slowly but surely, hopefully more surely than slowly, you will begin to see more people engaged with your local party. And the more people you have engaged, the more hands there are on deck to accomplish these goals, right? The main thing is to find ways and put into practice a strategy for having conversations with people in the community. You have to inform yourself about how people feel about things, and not create a local platform that is done in a vacuum and doesn't speak to people, right? It doesn't even address the issues that they think are important. You can only come to that if you're starting to have those conversations with people in your community. And really, if all you do in your local for the next 5 years is just go from person to person and have those conversations, that's actually going to be time well spent, because when you decide to run somebody, then the word green resonates because, I had that conversation with them and they listened to me. And so I've got some links to an article in Jacobin about the Australian Greens. Baldwin Park, Emmanuel Estrada. I don't think I need to put links in there about Franca's race because I think you all kind of more or less know about her. But you'll see the commonality in these situations is that people had conversations and started building relationships with one another. So I'll wait for your questions on the Q&A section. And Chris, my man,